every operator has an operation which has risk involved. If it is in an oil and gas industry to produce whatever material, there's a risk in this production. Or if it is a rail operator who has an infrastructure for rail with a rolling stock, with a rail track, there's some risk associated to that. The target is to mitigate the risk to a level where it's tolerable. Tolerable for people, asset and environment. And the functional safety is specifically that part what beyond of all the mechanical or operational measures can be achieved by electrical or electronic system, the so-called safety integrated systems. A lot of the critical infrastructure was built up over decades because that is also huge investments and very complex investments. These investments are not replaced because new technology is nowadays available. It has to wait when is the next modernization or is there something new which will be built. The only option is then also when some modernization or changes are happened to even implement, to get a little bit kind of test run of new technologies. So that's why it seems like there's a lot of old technology in critical infrastructure. Right, in the last 3 years around, they had in some applications a paradigm shift. I'll give you one example. Safety-related automation systems were in the past not allowed to access from outside, from remote. Always, if it was the operator or even the manufacturer, send an engineer on site. With travel restrictions and health regulations, that was not ever possible. So it changed to allow remote access on a secure way. And that was happened very fast because here the need was there to make it happen. And it will stay on now because now people are used to work with such a remote access. One of the market forces over the last months and in the last years was to provide energy over a long run very stable. That forced some of the operators that they can't shut down the plant for any turnaround phase. So what they are doing now is to prolonging the operation phase as long as possible, but knowing that all the equipment needs at certain time maintenance, repair, etc. So now technology will help them for predictive maintenance and other options to prolong this time. And that is really a response on the market demand. The critical infrastructure is in operations for quite a long time. So it will not replaced by a solution which is now available immediately. But everyone is looking for how to make use of this and is slightly adapting this. So that looks like, or it is really a slow implementation because technology already available, but need to be the right moment, as I said, a modernization or an extension can make it. Or there is a force because of, let me say, regulators asking to give evidence of how the safety systems are handled, where the safety data. And that is maybe a force what the regulator can bring to the operators and why operators then make a change and use of digital solutions. Digital threats are not theory anymore, or even not in a particular part of the world happened. It has happened more or less every day. Small attack which were not successful and which were blocked, or even some attacks which then goes really on critical infrastructure. So it's a real threat. And everyone who runs a critical infrastructure, if it is a rail operator, if it is someone who runs a power plant, whatever, has to act now already. And it is comparing to safety as you do at the beginning. If you build a plant, you make it analyze and studies, and then you put measures in place. On the security side, these circumstances change constantly, every week, every month, because a new threat is coming in. So important is to be proactive with that. Have organizational, technical measures in place and proactively work on that to enhance that more. And that is what has really changed over the last time here in Asia Pacific. A lot of investments are happening in this direction because the loss of production, the loss of the critical infrastructure is cost much more. In these industries, there are different standards or levels of understanding of the safety, not regulations, but how to tackle all the safety regulations on one side, but also understanding where are the risks, how the risk can be managed. And here HIMA is helping from an early stage, helping the customer to understand where are the risks, where really safety systems are needed, and what is the right sized solution for the customers in safety related automation. We recommend to all operators of critical infrastructure to make regular reviews if it is a risk assessment, reviewing what was done years back on the studies on hazard, LOPA, or we called it, and the risk studies. Reviews what has changed, because specifically the changes can have a big impact on the safety of a plant or an operation. A regular review, consolidate experts, safety expert would be our advice. The hurdles, or let me say the challenges for the operator of critical infrastructure nowadays is the changing environment. The market conditions can change. Immediately higher demand will be from the market there. That results in more flexibility, where in the past was you build a plan and keep it running for 10 years or 20 years in the same size and design. Now it needs to be adapted and changing more. That is one of the challenges, and that affects definitely the safety systems. So the management of change is an important part. On the security side, it is a constantly change threat. That is because it's an outside threat which is coming in, and the solutions which are used to attack really a plant can change, and it can't be foreseen what will be the tomorrow or even the day after the threat. These are the challenges these operators are faced with.